Hey YouTube, it's Barney Black here. I hope you're well. I'm having a cup of coffee on a Sunday afternoon, and I thought I would put together a few of the questions that people have been asking me now that I basically came out and told them that I've got multiple sclerosis, MS. So in no particular order, I'm going to kind of just fire through 7 of the questions which get asked fairly regularly when someone finds out for the first time that I've got MS. So here goes. So, what is it? What is it? What is it? That's a $6 million question. What it is from a science point of view is my nerve endings, which are covered, as everybody's are, with a myelin sheath to protect them. The myelin sheath is being damaged, which means my autoimmune system is attacking itself because it thinks that there's something that's needing to defend itself against. With the kids, I've been describing that I've been putting a cocktail stick inside a straw and tearing holes in the straw to kind of demonstrate the gaps that my myelin sheath might have. And that seems to have been quite a good illustration, and the kids seem to understand that that's where the problems happen. A bit like the short circuit example that a lot of people use when they're describing the myelin sheath breakdown and the wire insulation and the insulation around the wire having holes in it or tears or breaks. So I guess that's what it is. It's an autoimmune disease which is classed as a chronic illness. How do I feel? I get asked how do I feel a lot. Well, I have to be honest. Right now I've got flushing, which isn't because of MS, it's because of pills I take to combat the MS. How do I feel? I feel okay. I guess emotionally is the thing that I battle with most of the time. Physically, I do have ongoing symptoms, which is another question. What symptoms have you got? And I'll come to that in a moment. But how do I feel? Sometimes I don't think about it, other times I do, and there's other times when it's just on my mind constantly from the moment I wake up, based on any symptoms that I've got. Pins and needles is a real constant feeling that I have in my arms, my hands, my feet, my legs, and sometimes it's more intense than it was the day before, but it kind of wears off. But how do I feel emotionally? Okay, I feel pretty cool. There's loads of MS, or people with MS, or people who know friends or family with MS. There's a massive community with many organisations, Shift MS, the MS Society, I can't remember the other ones, but and also on YouTube there's a few people there that I've reached out to across the globe, so that's been pretty cool as well, being able to compare, contrast, share, and just kind of get stuff off your chest, or even recognise that other people are going through it as well. So what's next? What's next is a great question. What's next? Who knows? I guess symptom wise, nobody can tell me. It's one of those things that I'll be monitored on a regular basis. I'll get regular MRIs. Because I take Tecfidera, I get regular blood tests to make sure that everything's okay with my blood count, the way that Tecfidera combats or puts up a bit of a blocker to the MS symptoms to help the autoimmune system operate properly. I've got a neurologist appointment in October. I've got a visit to my MS nurse in November, and those things will happen periodically. I get my Tecfidera every 4 or 5 weeks. I've always got about a 2-week supply, which is topped up every 4 or 5 weeks. And yeah, so what's next? Who knows? The symptoms I've got over the years have kind of been fairly innocuous to things which are now lasting with me, causing me difficulties, frustrations probably more than difficulties, I guess. But yeah, I'm aware of the symptoms that I've got. Why not tell me until now? That's been a good question. It's something which I considered before I started to tell people, because I wasn't sure how, who, when, or what to say to people, particularly those that are closest to me and the nearest to me, friends and family. I guess from a selfish point of view, it's because it's mine to deal with. It's my MS. So I'm quite protective of my MS, which is odd. The other side is that to look at me, you would not know unless I explain what symptoms I have. You cannot say, or you do not know what MS looks like. It's not something which, like a broken arm or a limp or chicken pox. You can't see it. It's something which, unless physically I start to present more obvious symptoms, whether it's through my mobility or even my cognitive ability to respond and engage, you don't know, you can't tell by looking at me. So that's one of the reasons why I've not shared it with anybody. I've been able to carry on as normal. I still do the things that I've always done. Recently, it's become a little bit more laboured, but not anything which is significantly hampering me or stopping me from doing anything. I hope that makes sense. The other thing is, I know friends who know people with MS. I don't personally have any direct contact with friends or family with MS, but indirectly I do. And those people are in a much more challenging space. They've got more difficulties to deal with than what I do. And when I compare and contrast, I kind of feel, you know what, it could be worse. I don't have to be in a position where I let people know, because it's not impacting what they think of me, what they know of me, or anything that I can do when I'm in their company, and that's been the norm. So if I've not told you and you've wondered why I've not told you, I hope that kind of makes sense. What symptoms have I got? Well, the symptoms started with pins and needles in my fingers. They then stopped. I tingling when I bend my head. There's a symptom. It's the barber chair symptom, or the barber. I think it's a barber chair symptom, because when I bend my neck, I get a shooting, tingling sensation all down what is essentially my nerves. Numbness all over my lower area, my legs, my feet. I've mentioned moods and emotions before in previous videos. I definitely think that's something which continues to be a factor as a bit of a result of having MS. Heaviness, odd sensations, so when I walk on my bare feet, or in fact my feet have a constant feeling of walking on crumpled up socks, uneven surface, a roughness, and a constant tingling. A side effect of the Tecfidera I have is flushing. You can maybe see today there's a bit of redness around my arms, my neck, my chest. It's quite late in the afternoon for that. I took my pill probably about 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning. Usually if I'm going to get any flushing, it's 2 or 3 hours afterwards, but it's 10 to 4 now, so this is a late kind of onset of flushing, which isn't normal, but I tend to get flushing even if I've eaten, which a lot of people advise have something before or certainly alongside your Tecfidera. What other symptoms? I think the cognitive thought process, forgetfulness can sometimes be, there it goes, can sometimes be something I deal with. Tiredness, fatigue, there are times when I feel absolutely battered. And running just now, so I've described before in previous videos, if you've ever run a marathon or a 5k or a park run, after that you know you put in the effort. Your legs can tell you that, but by how heavy they feel, or the muscle fatigue that they've got after any distance you've run. Before I start a run, my legs feel like they've already ran a marathon. That's what I'm dealing with just now. How long? Well, I've been diagnosed since March 2017. I've had, clinically, it's been proven, it's maybe been before that, but my first showing of multiple sclerosis symptoms was way back in 2002. I didn't know that then. I didn't know that until about 2014. And from about 2014, lots of dots were joined up, and I was able to ultimately be diagnosed in 2017, which was after many more MRIs, many more blood tests, a lumbar puncture, not pleasant, some other tests, and then ultimately the conclusion got closer and closer until it was confirmed with everything joined up that MS is what they were going to diagnose for the reason, for all the various kind of symptoms that I've had over the years. So since 2002, those of you that have known me since 2002, you wouldn't know, I didn't know. Even now, you probably are thinking, well, I still wasn't aware of it. And that's because physically or from the outside, you can't tell what's going on in the inside. What will happen? What will happen? Well, I think I've indirectly touched on that already, but what will happen? Who knows? Lots of science, lots of opinion, lots of tests, lots of studies going on, whether it's medicine that is going to help, medication that's going to help, whether that's your fitness and your physical activity that will have an impact. Diet is clearly a huge thing. There's loads of different diets out there. The Dr. Wall's diet is one of the most talked about. It's not the only one, but it's the one that I'm looking at just now. It's kind of linked to Paleo back in the day anyway, when we were hunters gatherers, and then eating that kind of food, but staying away from processed foods, staying away from dairy, which is really tough because I love my cheese. And I'll just have to keep. I'll just have to see what comes my way. When it does come my way, I'll deal with it. The Tecfidera, I'm still a little bit. I'm not absolutely convinced it's made any difference because I wasn't taking medication for 14, 15 years and nothing really changed significantly with the symptoms. And I'm at that stage where nothing has really changed with the symptoms except I get side effects from the Tecfidera. So maybe it is helping, maybe it's stopping things, maybe it's slowing things down, who knows. Anyway, there's 7 questions and people ask me all the time. Hopefully that's giving you some insight into what MS is. I've got MS, it does not have me. Be cool, cheers.